stop their repeated return to that particular area, and indeed all other areas for that matter. Within the first quarter of this year, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat is going to deploy 24/7 full uninterrupted surveillance across all relevant flashpoints where illegal mining is prominent. What this simply means is that the NIMOS personnel will be permanently stationed there. Indeed, we had earlier communicated this, except that there were a number of I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed by way of clearances for this to become part of the operational features of NIMOS. Now, all of those clearances have been given, and so effective immediately within this very first quarter, there's going to be a permanent stationing. Now, when that permanent stationing happens, of course, the illegal miners would not have the incentive to return, because the situation we've been having is that we embark on an exercise, we leave there, we clear the space, and then they return. But with the permanent deployment, this issue would formally become a thing of the past.
And what will happen to the seized excavators and the owners or financiers of these operations? Are they also being pursued?
Absolutely, absolutely. Indeed, we've always been saying that if you want to deal decisively with the menace of illegal mining, the kingpins are supposed to be the target. But the kingpins also, if I should use this analogy, if you go on a fishing expedition, normally the big sea creatures are in the belly of the ocean. And so sometimes it's comparatively difficult to grab them as compared to those on the surface. But there is a lot of work that is currently ongoing to fish them out. The sector minister, Honorable Emmanuel Amakofiboa, has that political will. And so we are hoping that in the not too distant future, we'll be able to smoke out the actual kingpins who facilitate and inspire this whole illegal enterprise of wrongful mining. But those who have been arrested, the 12 who have been arrested in this particular exercise, as I speak, all of them are currently in custody assisting with investigations, which would be concluded very, very soon.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with us. We have been speaking with Pakwesi Shandov. He is a spokesperson for the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. Now, away from that, 118 NPP parliamentary candidates who contested in the 2024 parliamentary elections have publicly declared their support for former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia by endorsing his candidature in the party's upcoming presidential primary slated for January 31. Now, addressing the media on behalf of the parliamentary candidate, former Member of Parliament for 2nd D, Andrew Ejapamesa, says Dr. Bawumia is better placed to lead the party to victory in the 2028 general elections than all his contenders.
The parliamentary candidates who endorsed the candidature of Dr. Bawumia included Akosua Menu, Ambrose Derry, Kojo Frimpong, among others. All 5 candidates for the NPP presidential primaries are engaged in intensive campaign, galvanizing their bases for election victory. With few weeks to the elections, many organized groups, delegates within the party have publicly declared their support for their preferred candidates, with Dr. Bawumia and Kennedy Agyapong gaining the most endorsement. In a news conference organized by the former NPP members of parliament declaring the support for Dr. Bawumia, former member of parliament for 2nd D, Andrew Ejapamesa, says the support by the group to endorse Bawumia was not born out of inducement.
This declaration, ladies and gentlemen, following the one earlier made by our 63 compatriots who were victorious in the 2024 parliamentary elections and are today ably representing the party in parliament, is intended to send a clear message to the grassroots of our party and the good people of Ghana that the majority of their representatives whom they chose to lead the party during the 2024 general elections are strongly united behind the candidature of Dr. Bawumia. We must, at the very outset, state that this decision is not born out of any parochial or self-interest on our part. It has been taken after sober reflection and based on a deep sense of duty to our great party in particular and the future direction of our dear nation, Ghana.
He says Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's transformative policies is what the party requires to win power in the 2028 general elections.
Dr. Bawumia has outlined key reforms and proposals to better the lot of the grassroots of the NPP, who work tirelessly for the party to gain political power, but are often neglected or relegated to the back Bena when the party forms government. Key among these are his proposal to make a minimum of 10 high-level appointments per constituency to support employment and development. His proposal to establish a welfare database to document specific needs of members such as healthcare, education, job placements, capital for business, etc. This will facilitate an inclusive growth for all our party members. And his proposal for a constituency-based budgeting to decentralize contract awards so as to ensure that we're able to build businessmen and women in every constituency. Contract is promised will no longer be awarded in Accra to individuals and a select few.
Elephant is the winning symbol. We shall win.
Now, the Minority Caucus in Parliament has sharply assessed President John Dramani Mahama's first year in office, raising concerns over what they describe as unresolved national tragedies and governance challenges. Now, speaking at a press briefing in Accra, Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Appiagyei questioned public praise for the administration, insisting citizens deserve clearer accountability.
Mahama's first year in office has drawn concern from the Minority Caucus in Parliament, which urges that they are pressing national issues that must be addressed rather than celebrated. Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Appiagyei noted that the President's first year has not been marked by any significant policy initiatives, but also been painful incidents that, in the view of the minority, have not been adequately addressed. She stressed that these developments demand full disclosure from the government and a stronger, more responsive approach to leadership.
Fellow Ghanaians, on that fateful day of 6th August 2025, 8 citizens of Ghana, including 2 top ministers of state, took to the skies on a mission to confront illegal mining. They never returned. Their helicopter fell from the sky and the nation mourned. This tragic incident should have strengthened national resolve to defend our land, our water, and our children's inheritance. Instead, Ghanaians watch a government that speaks against Galamsey in press conferences while allowing questionable incentives, weak enforcement, and compromised supply chain to persist. This is not merely policy failure, it is betrayal of public trust.
She also charged the President to do better than what the country has witnessed so far.
Ghanaians deserve a full update on the investigations, the officials held liable, and concrete measures to ensure no young person ever dies again simply for seeking the dignity of work. This is not merely interpretation. It reads as an attempt to weaken independent oversight. The Attorney General speaks of operations recover the loot, over 200 cases, 33 against former appointees. But actions suggest it is not consistently about accountability. It appears selective.
The Minority Caucus is therefore urging the government to address the outstanding issues publicly and comprehensively.
And away from that, Arise Ghana, a civil society organization and a pressure group, has called on John Dramani Mahama's administration to guard against corruption-related issues in order to help the government to consolidate the economic gains being experienced by the economy.
Public debt, once a suffocating burden, has been restructured through prudent fiscal maneuvers, reducing immediate repayment pressures and restoring fiscal space. These are not mere cosmetic tweaks or statistical illusions. They represent tangible, hard-fought gains in economic stability. Ghana is no longer plummeting in economic free falls. The ship has steadied, the leaks plugged, and the sense of direction restored. We must, however, temper optimism with realism. Stability is merely the foundation, not the edifice of prosperity. 1 year ago, its volatility bred widespread anxiety. Importers struggled to focus cost, leading to erratic pricing in markets. Businesses hesitated on long-term contracts, fearing currency swings could wipe out profits. This achievement is no fluke. It results from restored fiscal discipline, which curbed excessive spending and borrowing. Rebuilt foreign reserves provided a safety net against speculative attacks. Enhanced export receipts from gold and cocoa through the Cocoa Board and Gold Board, respectively, bolstered inflows. Debt restructuring alleviated outflows pressures, while renewed investor confidence stemmed capital flight.
Now, the 2024 New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate for Adenton and a special aide to former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has given the Mahama administration a poor rating in its first year, arguing that the government has failed to deliver on its flagship promise of a 24-hour economy. It has been a year since President John Dramani Mahama was sworn into office to lead the country, with many Ghanaians praising the government for what they describe as a turnaround in the nation's economic fortunes. However, speaking on Good Afternoon Ghana, Akosua Menu said she remains unimpressed with the administration's performance so far, particularly in relation to its campaign pledge to create employment opportunities for the youth through the 24-hour economy.
It has been a year since President John Dramani Mahama was sworn into office to lead the country, with many Ghanaians praising the government for what they describe as a turnaround in the nation's economic fortunes. However, speaking on Good Afternoon Ghana, Akosua Menu said she remains unimpressed with the administration's performance so far, particularly in relation to its campaign pledge to create employment opportunities for the youth through the 24-hour economy.
The overarching policy or the flagship policy was a 24-hour economy. Then where is it? And I'm saying so because I've seen protests or demonstrations from people who wore party-branded T-shirts, who indicated their IDs that they registered with the party, pleading and begging that they don't want to be home anymore, they want a job and all of that. It tells that the government has a lot more to do. So, and that is to fulfill its main promise, because I believe a 24-hour economy was supposed to be a boost to the economy and create opportunities for young people and women as well. Right. So, on that score, maybe I give them a solid 2 over 10.
She further attributed the relative economic stability largely to the gold purchase program initiated under former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, arguing that the current government is reaping the benefits of that policy rather than implementing effective new measures of its own.
To come to the economy, they haven't done anything else in the economy as far as I'm concerned. Yes, just so you took a ship and you are not turning left or right, you are just holding and going and holding it steady.
Sinking.
The ship was the ship went through a crisis, a global crisis, and out of which bold ideas and solutions were proffered. That is why I am solidly behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the flag bearer of the party. Why? Because a policy that he championed and implemented through his ingenuity, which is the gold purchase program, is one of the core anchors of stability as far as this government is concerned.
So you're not giving them any credit?
I won't give them credit, because if they had, let's say they had scrapped that and implemented their own ideas and said this is what is steadying the ship, then I would agree.
And away from that, President John Dramani Mahama has revealed that cabinet discussions are ongoing on reforms to Ghana's TV license law ahead of submitting proposed amendments to Parliament. According to President Mahama, the government is exploring amendments to replace the current TV license with a public media levy designed to strengthen funding for public broadcasters. President Mahama made a disclosure during a visit to the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation on Thursday, January 8, as part of his engagement with some media houses.
There are a few suggestions we have with regards to the so-called TV license. And I think that our thinking is going in the same direction to amend that law to make it a public media levy of some sort. And we're going to change the range of that levy so that it's better able to mobilize funding in order to be able to subsidize the work of the public media. And so when we're ready, it will be discussed in cabinet, but we'll discuss with you what our thinking is before we finally go to Parliament and amend the law. I'm sure that with some of the suggestions we've got, it will be able to raise the amount of funding that it brings in and make you better able to do your work.
Authorities on education stakeholders have been urged to prioritize creating a supportive environment through the provision of a sign language interpreters or devices that could enhance communications between persons with hearing impairment and the general public, stressing that adequate provision must be made to ensure that all levels of education, health, employment and social lives are accessible to the hearing impaired persons. Abdul Basit Suleiman has more. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust Fund has sanctioned a 10% rise in pension payment for 2026. Now, the adjustment approved in consultation with the National Pensions Regulatory Authority will provide all pensioners with a 6% fixed increase, supplemented by a portion of the remaining 4% redistributed among beneficiaries.
This redistribution aims to give larger effective increases to pensioners at the lower end of the payment scale. Under the new arrangement, pensioners currently receiving the minimum monthly pension of 300 Ghana cedis will see their payments rise to 409 Ghana cedis 56 pesos in 2026, marking a 36.52% increase, substantially above the general indexation rate. Senate's Chief Actuary Evelyn Ejay gave some explanation.
For 2026, our overall pension indexation for our pensioners on the pension payroll as of December 2025 is 10%. This is to protect our pensioners' purchasing power, and especially those on the low-income pensions. Approximately 70% of our pensioners are going to get an effective increase of 10% or more. So from the 10% to the 36.5% covers 70% of our pensioners. This is for only those who are joining our pension payroll in 2026. For only those who are joining our pension payroll in 2026, and it's not for those already on the pension payroll.
Director of Senate, Kwesi Afrebaini, mentioned that the decision reflects prevailing economic conditions and Senate's statutory responsibility to periodically adjust pensions to help maintain their real value while safeguarding the financial sustainability of the scheme for generations.
The new pensioners coming onto the payroll used to come in at 300 Ghana cedis. That has been increased to 400, another growth of 33%, in an era where inflation is at 5.4. Again, testament to our commitment to ensure that those at the lower end are as protected as much as possible to ensure sustainability. And it's in line with our strategy that we would keep ensuring that we will protect the value of the pensions that we pay out, having considered inflation and other variables.
The trust noted that low-income pensioners will experience substantially higher effective increases due to the strengthened minimum pension floor.
Well, let's go to Adenta, where the lorry station has become the center of public discussion following an evacuation exercise to pave way for the construction of a 24-hour modern market. The Adenta Municipal Assembly says the project falls under the government's reset agenda and is meant to benefit residents, not to displace them.
Traders at the lorry station on Wednesday, January 7, were seen parking their belongings and dismantling their structures after being notified by the Abdentan Municipal Assembly to vacate the area to make way for construction works. Responding to some complaints by the traders, the Municipal Chief Executive, Ella Esinam Christine Nongo, explained that prior notice had been issued and that the exercise forms part of a wider mandate given to all MMDCEs under the government's development agenda.
Now comes a 24-hour model markets. What we had to do as MMDCEs was to provide a space.
Which was introduced by this government.
But which was introduced by this government. So I've been honest lied on us to provide a space. So we called them. We did several engagements to let them know that now there's something bigger coming up. It's no longer a mall that will be controlled by the private individual, but this time it's government that is bringing a model market. Right. So they were asked to just vacate the place so that we have the space to build the market. They welcomed the news. We even projected how the modern market was going to be like. And all of them, I mean, okay, most of them were very impressed. They had only a few concerns, one of which was the fact that they were wondering if the market is ready, would they have the opportunity to access the market? I was like, oh, of course, they would, because each district is going to have that same market.
She said the 24-hour modern market is expected to be completed within 12 months, which will feature improved stores, storage, sanitation facilities, security, and a pharmacy to support round-the-clock trading.
I was thinking then, especially when they were giving notice as of 2023, most of them could have found a space for themselves. It is not the Assembly's duty to find them a space. Okay. If there's an available space, fair enough, the Assembly could do that. But as of now, we do not have any space readily available for them to go to. Okay.
Do you know the duration, which
12 months.
12 months. Yeah. For the market to be constructed.
Yes.
12 months.
Yes.
Exactly 12 months. Yes. And let us understand, what does it entail, the modern market?
There's something, in short, there's something for everyone. It's going to have a police post. It's going to have a fire post. It's going to have a clinic, a pharmacy, an environmental office. It is even going to have the much talked about Women's Bank. Okay. That one is also going to be there. There's going to be a lorry station. There's going to be a crèche. There's even going to be 130 lockable shops, 130 shades, and then even 160 open space. So it means that there's something for everyone, depending on your strength.
The Municipal Chief Executive is urging residents to remain calm and support the project, cautioning the public against misinformation.
Let's go to the Central Region, where fisher folks and the fishing communities in Infantsman have long demanded a dedicated fish landing site to improve safety, boost trade, and enhance their livelihoods. To them, the soon-to-be commissioned Anamabo Fisheries College will also serve as crucial hands-on training ground.
The previous government earmarked several towns for the construction of modern fish landing sites, including Infantsman, as part of a larger plan to construct 14 such projects along the coast of the artisanal fishing industry in the region. Combating the environmental challenges, the previous NPP government began a sea defense project to safeguard residents' lives and their homes, providing them peace of mind in Infantsman Assembly. In a direct response by traditional authorities and fisher folks enjoying the continuous destruction and challenges caused by the sea in communities such as Anamabo, Briwa, and Eja, are bitterly worried about the devastating impact the communities are facing for not considering their views before the construction of the Infantsman Sea Defense Project.
They were destroying the town, so the previous government built a sea defense to stop the sea from flooding the community. Stones were placed all the way from Eja to Briwa, but it ended up disrupting our farming activities. We are now pleading with the current government to help us.
In an interview with Apofohene of Briwa, Nana Kofi Amfamwa VI also expressed his worry in the past government failing their promises after cutting sword to build a landing site for his community.
says I be well. Ya for adwuma no ya sha sacha nso ya kachi wo da mla ne saji no ye bi masa minister na so.
At the beginning, we thought the project was a good idea, but over time we realized there were faults. Every time we go there, there are problems, and even returning is very difficult.
Was start to Blua no what they call I foreign palm American infants my start to Blua and call you know Maputua. You site.
Kantamanto Amonu, the 11th, the paramount chief of Anumabo, accused the contractor of the Infantsman Sea Defense Project for a shoddy work done.
Previous government na epono or say Anumabo Kuno.
To be honest, the current government is doing well, and we appreciate their efforts. But the previous project caused us real worry because of how the sea behaved. We are appealing for the government to fix this issue for us.
Amano Ubudri, Habo, and a landing site for the fishing community.
Some resident fishermen who are victims of the Infantsman Sea Defense Project, speaking to Metro News, expressed their worry and gathered faith in this NDC government to respond to their demands.
This is a serious matter for us. Any meeting we organize, the leaders are aware of it. Mr. President.
Well, that's it for the news update on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Harriet Adi Desmond.
Harriet, thank you very much for bringing us the updates. So yeah, we'll still here. Good Afternoon Ghana. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about New Year resolutions, how to get it right, how to make sure that by the end of the year, by 31st of January, you have attained all the New Year resolutions, the things you've marked down to do. You must have done all of that. And then later, we talk about SNET, right? So stay with us. We're taking a break. We'll be back and get into all of those conversations.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozig. Akache say no ya konati and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Aji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral?
Say a pessary insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biamu. Namum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na a pedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. FE spray with Daimwa.
Welcome back from the break. This is Good Afternoon Ghana Holiday Edition right here. My name is Desmond Okreko-Danso. And we're going to get into our first conversation for the afternoon. We're talking about SSNIT, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, because the latest news is that there has been an approval of 10% increment in pension payments for 2026. And before we get to speak to our guests, let's take a look at that story. Distribution aims to give larger effective increases to pensioners at the lower end of the payment scale. Under the new arrangement, pensioners currently receiving the minimum monthly pension of 300 Ghana cedis will see their payments rise to 409 Ghana cedis 56 pesos in 2026, marking a 36.52% increase, substantially above the general indexation rate. SSNIT's Chief Actuary Evelyn Ejay gave some explanation.
For 2026, our overall pension indexation for our pensioners on the pension payroll as of December 2025 is 10%. This is to protect our pensioners' purchasing power, and especially those on the low-income pensions. Approximately 70% of our pensioners are going to get an effective increase of 10% or more. So from the 10% to the 36.5% covers 70% of our pensioners. This is for only those who are joining our pension payroll in 2026. For only those who are joining our pension payroll in 2026, and it's not for those already on the pension payroll.
Director of SSNIT, Kwesi Afrebaini, mentioned that the decision reflects prevailing economic conditions and SSNIT's statutory responsibility to periodically adjust pensions to help maintain their real value while safeguarding the financial sustainability of the scheme for generations.
The new pensioners coming onto the payroll used to come in at 300 Ghana cedis. That has been increased to 400, another growth of 33%, in an era where inflation is at 5.4. Again, testament to our commitment to ensure that those at the lower end are as protected as much as possible to ensure sustainability. And it's in line with our strategy that we would keep ensuring that we will protect the value of the pensions that we pay out, having considered inflation and other variables.
The trust noted that low-income pensioners will experience substantially higher effective increases due to the strengthened minimum pension floor. Right, so that's the story there, where you had the management, some management members of SSNIT explaining what this new arrangement is. And so now we're going to speak to Dr. Edu Entry. He's Councillor of Concerned SSNIT Pensioners Forum, to get to understand what this means for them. Is there any concern that they want to raise? We'll get to talk about that. He's joined us via Zoom this afternoon. Good afternoon, Doc. Thank you very much for your time here on Good Afternoon Ghana, and Happy New Year to you.
Good afternoon. Yes, same to you.
Great. Now we saw the story there, and there's the raise for the minimum monthly pension for new retirees from 300 cedis to 400 cedis, and some other new arrangements. What was your initial reaction to this new arrangement?
Well, thank you. There's been an increase. That's what everybody was going to realize. It will always be increased, but the levels. We at the Concerned SSNIT Pensioners Forum, we had teaching the SSNIT. We did that in November, that they should try and then ensure that we get a minimum, and I think we should have a dialogue on this to determine a minimum living pension, so that people who are down there, at least we know this. We should look at it as we are looking at the minimum wage. If we have a minimum wage in this country, then I think we should also look at minimum pension. That should be a policy decision, consultation and hammer that if you are in this country and you come on pension, at least you need ABC figure to survive. I think that is important. We should not leave it to SSNIT alone. There should be a national dialogue and come up with a minimum. If we establish that, and later on every year the indexation is going to bring it up, that is what is needed.
Right.
But if we don't have that, for example, how much would a pensioner need to buy even only medicine? If you ask these questions, then you can come and realize that we need a minimum, a living pension level that go down there and use to cover the needed things that have to make their life a bit comfortable after they have come on retirement.
Right, Doc. So that is the challenge that you have with that. What really, for many of us who are getting to understand this, for the lower income retirees, what is the structure and how does it affect them? Because according to what you're saying, the concern has to do with the low income retirees, and that's what you're hoping that something could be done about.
Yeah, SSNIT says they were paying $300 a month for people who are coming on board, who have retired. If your income levels, those who have their levels are okay, will not be at that level. But these are people who don't have, who really have the capacity to earn enough salaries. So they were paying them $300, and say now they are pushing it to $400. We, in a petition we sent to SSNIT, was arguing for a minimum of $600 to take care of people who are coming on pensions initial, so that nobody, at least people get 20 cedis a day as pension income. That didn't, we didn't get that. They have determined that 400, which is woefully inadequate. If you are even having, and you see, most pensioners do not have any other income apart from their monthly pensions. When you are talking, people will think that some pensioners are doing this, doing that, but many people, majority of them are on that baseline. The minimum is what they are taking. And we think that we're arguing that at least that should be raised to about 600. It's now raised to 400. We didn't get what we had proposed or suggested, but we will have to work. And I'm saying that there should be a policy, a national dialogue on how much should we pay to sustain pension at the minimum. And if we get that, then based on that, every year this indexation will come and send it up. But until that, if SSNIT alone is determining what he will pay as minimum, I think there should be a national dialogue to determine. Everybody is coming to be on pension, so sometimes when you are there, we are talking about this, you think it is for people who are on pension. No, they're also coming to face the same thing, and I think there should be a national minimum pension level to determine, so that we can see that people are having something to take home.
And this you say you
their,
have been
their medication.
Doc, I'm just saying that, or I'm just asking that. This is what you say you have been petitioning SSNIT about since when?
Well, we sent the petition to SSNIT in November. We met them,
Okay.
the team met SSNIT, and they promised that they will take our concerns into consideration and discuss with their stakeholders. And I think they did that. And then before they announced they invited us into a meeting to tell us that they have now concluded discussions, and they are informing us that day, and that was yesterday, we're going to come out with the figures. It's something that we have started, and we think that we will continue to do that. It's not only this one. Maybe we didn't start engagement with them very early. The forum was established just in November, but we have had 2 meetings with them. We'll go ahead from here. We'll still be consulting with them engaging with them. We'll be sending proposals to them, and then we'll see how to get these things done so that the whole pension system is reformed, and we get we get pensioners a little bit of comfort before they die. At least some dignity should be for them. Sometimes you meet somebody who has come on retirement within 2-3 years, and when you meet him, that person, you realize that it's just not good, too bad, So we'll still do the engagement. We will be sending letters to the SNIT. We have come out with some pillars that we think we should work with, including the establishment of so many things, and we'll be dealing with SNIT on that. If we have to escalate it to the ministerial level, we will do that. If it has to go up to Parliament, it will be done. We'll do the advocacy and ensure that we reform our pension system and get some dignified pension payment to our pensioners.
Right. From your just this comment that you have made, I just want to understand how's life after all this work or pension like generally for people who are part of your forum? How are they coping with life in pension?
No, pensions, if you are on pension, is a difficult thing, especially for the downtrodden ones. Even for the top people, people were using official cars, you have to drop it. You were being served with fuel, you have to drop it. Your utilities were paid for you. Even those who were enjoying, when you come home, all those things are gone. Now you have to pay for all these things with your pensions. So it is difficult even for people who are enjoying some of these things. How much more people who were never enjoying anything, and sometimes they don't even have any investment or any savings anywhere. I keep on telling people that some people, the first time they see some big money is only when they have taken their lump sum figure from SNIT. They never had anything saved because the money they were receiving was just from hand to mouth, and then nothing to be saved. So basically, they will be living on that pensions that they receive every month. And if you live with some of these people, you realize that it is difficult, very difficult. How can you are going to buy and you see, when you get to that level, I always tell people that it's like nature gives you an import license to import diseases. Today, it is you have high blood pressure. The next day, you don't take you have diabetes. The next time, you have this. All these things you have to use money to take care of. And medicine, prices of medicine. Nobody is supplying anybody any medicine. Elsewhere in the advanced countries, you are sick, and every month your drugs is delivered to your at your doorsteps. You just open your door and your drug is there free because you are on retirement. But we don't have that. People, electricity bills are half-rated because they are on retirement. They don't pay as people who are working are paying. They have passes to take government buses for free and all that, just to cushion them. We don't have. So you'll be depending only on your pensions, a small pension. So we need to work at it and ensure that pensioners are treated well. Otherwise, it doesn't make when the young ones also see you like that. What story will it be telling them? Me too. The next time, by the time I get to 60, 65, I'll be like this. Shouldn't be.
Right. The other concern is also how the payments to SNIT needs to be done whilst an individual is in active service, so that when they get to the point where they have to go on pension, they will be okay, in terms of remuneration, in terms of those things during active service. Is there anything that needs to be done differently so that when people get into pension, they may not have to face a lot of these challenges we are talking about?
Well, generally, salaries are low in this country. We all accept that we can't do much. So sometimes, especially in I work in the public service, and if you are put on what we call a single span, you will see that you are not earning much at all. So whatever money that you are contributing to the social security is not much, and therefore when you come out, you are not going to get much of pensions. Those organizations that are paid well, and at least they can have that. I think some time ago, that was why a policy was made so that you consolidate all these allowances so that people can pay something bigger or higher on their salaries. That consolidation has been done, and yet still the figures are still low. When you are looking at the average worker, salaries are low, and therefore it affects. That is why, because I don't see how, if salaries were okay, I don't see how somebody should come on pension and we'll be starting the pension at 300 cedis per month, which means the salary levels there are very low. And no matter how much you contribute, you're not going to get much. So there's a problem there. But all this must be factored into the pensions reforms that we think that there's a need to look at and see how we can structure this and ensure that people will come out on pensions and get something dignified for their abstinence, their sustenance.
Sustenance as their pension. Right, so SSNIT also is estimating that over 7 billion cedis will be paid in pensions in 2026. And I mean, just looking at the figures, 580 million cedis will be disbursed monthly. And, they're also saying there'll be increases where there's higher earners receiving increases closer to the 10% indexation, and while lower income pensioners benefit more from the flat amount and strengthened minimum pension. These are some of the arrangements from SSNIT. So as we wrap up on this, final call to SSNIT, to all stakeholders, to make sure that some of these new arrangements are actually done and then could be increased, and also for the call that you are also making to SSNIT.
If you ask me, for me, I think that the people down there, emphasis on the people down there, sustenance, be able to sustain you, buy your drugs, buy your food, and all that is key. Some people up there are okay, and if you ask me, if at the end of the year you don't even receive any increment, I don't think it will affect you much, because there's enough for you to live on. But the people down there, that is where the challenge is. As you are coming down and you get to the down, it's just too much of a problem. So we should have, I know they are doing that, but I think that if at some point in time, for example, if you are, they say somebody is on 200, I don't know, but that's what they have said. But if you are even on 100, and the next year you don't receive any match or a percentage of, let's say, 1% or 2%, that should be enough, or even half a percentage, that would be enough, so that we can look at the people who are down there struggling, who need something to cope. And again, this inflation thing that we have been using is good that we use the inflation, but you ask yourself, when inflation was in the 30s and 40s, did any pensioner receive 40 or 45% increment? No. We will just be using lower figure. So over the years, pension values has eroded. So if we now be talking about 10, because inflation is at 6 or 5, we have given 10. That 10 is not even true to everybody. It's the average. Some people will not get that 10%. Some people will get more than that. Some people will get about 5% if you look at their calculation. So if we always talk about the inflation, now inflation is low and we are using that. You ask yourself, when it was high, did we use that? Have we ever increased salaries above pensions above inflation over the past years? The answer is no. And so we must work on all these things and ensure that even the lost value, previous years that we have got huge loss in value. How do we restore that? It's a challenge. And that all affects the average, the pensioner who is receiving that income.
Right. Thank you very much for your time here on Good Afternoon Ghana on Metro TV. Dr. Edu Anani is Councillor for the Concerned Pensioners Forum, speaking to us about the new arrangements from the SNET for pensioners. And of course, for the management of SNET, they're saying that the focus is on equity. And that's what, I mean, Tuko says that it's a testament of their commitment to ensure that those at the lower end are protected as possible while ensuring sustainability. And Dr. Edu Anani believes that more could be done about that. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana, you're on Metro TV. We're taking a quick turn. While we come back, we have more. Stay with us.
In a world where security is paramount, peace of mind should be a necessity and not a luxury. This is why Virtual Security Africa has created a special discount package up to 30% on our 4 and 8 channel high definition cameras. We are more affordable now than ever. With as low as 4,130 Ghana cedis, you can get 4 high definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. With 6,440 Ghana cedis, you will get 8 high-definition cameras, 3 terabyte hard drive, cables, and a digital video recorder. Why choose us? Because we offer top-tier quality you can trust, lifetime after-sale support, 2 years warranty, and you can view our systems remotely. Sidinua Peke. Spend less, secure more. Call us on 055-874-0764 and 050-331-4068. Virtual Security Africa. We will beat the advertised price of any security product of comparable quality.
Never dispose of ashes or fire into dustbins at the market or homes. You could start a fire outbreak, endangering both lives and properties. Use the dustbins for your waste and garbage only.
What at all does he see in her that he's not seeing in me?
Look at me.
Eugene and Anekia made their choice.
You won't believe what Pam and Anekia have done to me. Or staying alone. Abstain. Why abstain?
I have been seeing through your shenanigans all night. I thought I told you that I didn't want to see that girl in this house again.
I'm sorry, Cinnamon.
You have lost. I've won the battle. Get over it.
Battle?
Why me? I like you very much. That's why I brought you this.
Protect me?
Yes, I'm ready to listen to you.
Eugene Clark. That boy. That womanizer.
You are old enough. I would like you to man up to choose among these two.
Now, the baby is baby. So you are coming to come and see.
Sometimes I just sit and then regret what really happened.
Take care to prevent pregnancy.
Because I saw her in your car.
Just stop it. They have to pay for what they've done to me.
Be ready for the storm coming up for you. The revenge is not necessary.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you are getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge-prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of The Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family.
Then, I dare you to date God for reasons.
I will get that.
You go get you.
I will get that.
So we can't sit here more than 1 hour or close to 1 hour. If you only are Sabi, I go fit up.
You know my friend, Alpha. Well, he wants to go on a date with you.
You're kidding, right?
Oh, I'm serious.
No. I'm not interested.
Listen.
I'm just hoping this will continue forever.
This is forever and ever.
Come on, Alpha, shut up and let me talk. I picked you from the street as a little boy, and I will come to
Let me take you home and prepare something for you.
All right, yes, I was ready to invest 20,000. Tell me more about it.
Welcome back from the break. I'm on the holiday edition of Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Desmond Okrekodan. So I mentioned earlier that we've got two conversations. We're done with the Senate conversation. Now we're getting to one that is very, very important. As the year opens up every time, or actually when it's wrapping up, we all do tend to reflect on the 365 days, what we've done with our lives, what we did good, what we could have done better, and all that. And then a new year starts, and then the cycle continues, what we plan for the next 365 days, and say that this year I want to do this, I have to do this, I have to stop this, and all of those things. I have mine that I did for 2025. I don't know if I was able to achieve all of that. 2026, I'll put a few things. But how well do we make sure that we are able to attain those targets that we set for ourselves? The New Year resolutions, the targets, the goals, the aims that we want to achieve for the year. What do we put in place? How disciplined are we to be able to go through all of that to the very end? So today we're going to have a conversation on that. And then, of course, for this conversation, we need to open the phone lines. So later we'll open the phone lines and then you can talk to our guests. Any question, statements, whatever thing, you can definitely draw that in and then we will get to talk about it. Rudolph Brenya is here. He's, it's not the first time he's been here. Last day he was on the table and he's a counselor, he's an author, he's everything. And he's here. So we talk about this. But today we're going to call him Mr.
High Definition.
Right? Happy New Year to you. Welcome to the program.
Happy New Year to you. I hope you're excited about 2026.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am.
You've got your New Year resolutions written now?
I think I'm one of those who I don't really write down. Okay. I've got things in my head, like I take it one after the other, so I know maybe what I want to do, but writing is difficult for me. But how's your 2025? Getting even in December, you told me that you stayed here.
Yeah, I stayed throughout. Unfortunately, I couldn't really be doing too much there to December as I would like to. It was more of work. And it's been a good time in Ghana. It's been a good time. It's been good 2025. We're just looking forward to 2026.
Right.
And we're going to talk about what the importance of New Year resolution, why I think people fail at the New Year resolution. I think at this point of the year, everyone's super excited. Everyone's pumped up. This year is going to be my year. I'm going to make the most amount of money. I'm going to travel. I'm going to get married and everything. And then around February, everything just dies down.
The things of life hit you and then you just forget
about where you wrote
everything.
Down. Yeah.
So what is really the motive? I think that it has to do with you, the person.
Yes.
And what you want to achieve. So everybody's doing it, so I want to do same. That's definitely not the right way to start.
Absolutely not. I think let's talk about New Year resolution, why they fail.
Right.
I think many people last year, they had a New Year resolution, perhaps they wanted to achieve something and they're not succeeding. I think the reason why most people are not achieving it is because their New Year's resolution is powered by two very weak fuel. And I say weak for a reason. The first one is called motivation. The second one is called willpower. Now, notice I didn't say it's a wrong fuel because it's weak because it will spark the engine.
Right.
But it's a terrible engine to run on. So if you are starting your year off just purely on motivation and willpower, eventually, motivation and willpower is like you putting fuel in your car. Eventually, it's going to run out. So then the question is then, what's the right way to set the New Year resolution? I believe that 99% of people watching us, the way they start the New Year resolution is very simple. They start with the outcome, the result. Perhaps I want to make more money, I want to do this. Nothing wrong with it. But if you start with the outcome first, you are going to crash. So then the question is, how do we start? Very simple. As an identity strategist, the first thing that every person at home needs to do is to ask themselves, what kind of person do I have to become in order for this goal to be normal for me?
Okay.
Because identity always leads first. If you're running on motivation, willpower, you're going to crash out. But if you decide, hold on, if I want to make this type of money, what kind of person do I need to become now in order for this to fit into a plan?
So is that is a reflection of what the previous year? Is that what? Because you've got to reflect,
of course,
and know that, okay, I didn't do this good, and so I need to put up my identity in a certain way before I can get to it. Right?
Yeah, so definitely you should do an end of year reflection because most organizations, company, they see their profit and loss and everything.
Right.
Many people don't do that for their life. They're happy doing it for their businesses, but they never sit down and ask themselves, what actually went wrong? Why they need to start assessing themselves. After you assess yourself and you decide like this year, this is what I want to achieve. The reason why I say you have to start with identity first is because when you understand that in order for me to be more disciplined in the gym, what kind of person do I need to become in order for me to be very disciplined going to the gym? If you can start with that, everything else is very easy for you to follow because your identity will give you the belief and the belief will give you the routines that you need to put in place so that once you get the routine in place, you then collect and proof. Because what's going to happen is that once you tell yourself, for example, imagine someone that say, I want to make money, and they look at the bank account, there's no money now, and they say, well, I have to start acting like someone who has money. There's come that bit of I'm being fake. It's something that will happen. They're like, well, I'm not being real. But one thing they need to understand is that eventually, when you start changing the way you see yourself, you're going to start taking small action. Even a small action, you're collecting proof. And the more you collect proof, you then begin to realize, actually, this new identity that I've created for myself is actually working. And I think I would like to later on share with the audience something practical. Usually when people like myself in this industry come in, it's always theory. Okay, give me something practical. What can we do today?
True though.
So I'll be happy to share something practical.
Yes, and so we'll put the number on the screen. Just keep it up on the phone. Just put it on the phone. Maybe in just about 10 minutes, we'll open the phone line so you can call, ask questions about how you can attain your New Year resolution. I've got one of them for me this year is to get into the gym. But listen, in the first 7 days, I've already thought to look at where the gym is in my area. And for me, it looks like it may not happen.
I can tell you why that's not going to happen. And I said this last time when I was here, and I would like for the viewers at home to write this down, that you will never outperform your self-identity. It's not important. It's not possible.
Okay.
What does that mean? That simply means that you will always revert back to your default setting. So if you see yourself as someone who procrastinates, it doesn't matter if it turns January the 1st and you got all the motivation and the fireworks are going out and you're a watch night service, you're excited. But if you still see yourself internally as someone who procrastinates, no matter how much motivation you have about going to the gym, because you see yourself as someone who doesn't follow through, you will always revert back to that area of procrastination. And the reason being is because the only person you can't lie to is yourself.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because you can tell yourself today I'm going to be this person, but then in the back of your mind you tell yourself, hey, every time I start this, I never follow through.
Right.
So therefore, I don't think I can follow through. But once again, these are just thoughts that you have to silence and to tell yourself that, hold on a minute, I've decided to do this. But I would say something, you can momentarily outperform your self-image through motivation and willpower. So you can, like most people, I believe 99% people probably watching now are now outperforming their self-image. However, like I say, it's like gas. Eventually, you're going to run out. It's like, take it like this. It's like you go to a nightclub and you have a bouncer there, a security man there, and the age is 21 and above, and you're 18 years old. You don't have the right idea. They're not going to let you in.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with self-identity. No matter how excited you're about going to the club, it doesn't matter. Eventually, your self-image will tell you, your self-identity will tell you, no, this is not who you are. So you have to push away.
Yeah. Right.
I want to say something interesting.
Yeah, I want, like you're saying, we've got to be practical with it because usually it's just theory. So let's use my gym theory, right?
Yes.
And then see how practical we can get with that.
Yeah.
So do I have to write it down? You asked me a question whether I write. Should I write it down? Should I get a notebook, put all the to-do lists together, say that, okay, from January I'll do it, or okay, till June I'll find a way to get to the gym. How should it be done so that you can achieve that by the end of 31st January?
Great question. So the very first thing is what we're going to do is the thing that you didn't like to do, writing it down. You don't necessarily have to use your paper. Now we have technology. You can put it on your phone and everything. The reason why this is important is to change your self-identity. If you see yourself as someone who, like you said earlier, Rudolph, I just don't feel like going to the gym. we have to confront it. We have to confront that self-identity. If you don't confront it, you'll not be able to change it. Okay. You see, most people are comfortable confronting other people. Other people step on their toes. They're like, "Why did you step on my toe?" But very few people few people sit down and really confront themselves and tell themselves, "Hold on a minute. Why am I doing this? Why do I keep getting the same results every single year?" You have to sit down and write down exactly how you see yourself now. How do you see yourself? It doesn't matter how bad, how ugly it looks. Write it down. Just be very truthful to yourself. When you write it down, every nitty-gritty part of it, then what I want you to do, this is something very practical that it can do. When you finish doing that, what I would like for you to do is that take that piece of paper, if you've written on a piece of paper, and then I want you to rip it apart. Just rip it. Something's going to happen psychologically. You're gonna feel like a weight lifted over your shoulder. Okay. It's very powerful. I do this with all my clients. And then the next thing you want to do is once you throw that away, because that's no longer how you see yourself, then you write down, I'm the type of person who's consistent and disciplined going to the gym. You write this down, and then what I'm going to get the viewers to do is to read it to themselves for 21 days. The question is, why 21 days? Well, it's scientifically proven that after 21 days, you build a new habit. Now, usually what happens after 7 days, you lose a bit of momentum. So do I really have to read it? Yes, you have to read it, because it's only through repetition that we believe something in our subconscious mind, because the mind is made of two parts. We have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Yeah. And you don't believe anything unless it reaches your subconscious mind. So the more you read it and you start taking little steps by going to the gym, you start collecting proof, and then you begin to rewire your subconscious mind, and you begin to believe, maybe I can make this money. Maybe I can go to the gym because I'm seeing it. I'm rewiring myself. So that's something practical that the viewers at home can do right now. But I believe that most people will say, nah, it's too good to be true. And that's the problem. And then they'll complain at the end of the year.
Yeah, trying to be true to yourself is also one of the things. Like, you really need to accept that this is who you want to be, but you are not there. And then find a way to get it done, right? So I want to go to the gym, and then I see, okay, the guys are going, but I'll go to work in the morning. I'll get tired. I'll get back late. I can't go to the gym. So I'm giving myself excuses that will not let me. For me, it seems like a very good excuse, because I'll come back in the morning. I can't be having all the pains. I'll get home late. When am I going to eat, sleep, and all of those things? So I believe also that happens, right?
Yes, and I think also it's imperative for me to let people know that you need to have a strong why as well. Why you're doing it. If I told you, walk on this dark alley road, and at the end of the road, you're going to find a box of gold. Most people, they're not sure what's happening in the alley road, but they will still take that road by, because they think, my why is that I'm going to get this gold. It's a strong why for them. If I told you, if someone you truly love might lose their life if you do not, I know it's a bit extreme, but if someone you truly love may lose their life if you don't go to the gym, I guarantee you, it doesn't matter if your back is hurting, you're like, hey, I love, this is my wife, this is my husband, this is my mother, I have to go to the gym. So most people don't have a very strong why.
Okay. Right, so we can now take the phone calls. So please, the number is on the screen. Give us a call. Got any contribution, any question for our resource person in the studio, you can do that. Trust me, there's a man who's done this outside the country, and also definitely trying to bring that energy to his roots. That is Ghana. He lives in the Netherlands, right?
No, I was born in the Netherlands.
You were born in the Netherlands.
I'm from the UK.
Okay, London, so easy. Yeah, definitely. He's from Croydon.
You always say that. He said that.
I always say that, right?
Is that the only part of London you know, perhaps? That's
the only part I know. Anyway, of course. So please give us a call, and then if there's something we can do about it, we just talk about it. People say every year you do New Year resolution. Is it even going to work? All of that, is it necessary, and all of that, and then about the long term and short term, how do we do that? How do you make sure that this short term goal, or this goal, how do you identify that this goal is short term and this goal is long term?
That's a great question. So I think you need to look at your self-awareness is really important.
Okay.
If you're someone right now and you don't even have, for example, $1 in your bank account, and you're thinking, in the next 3 months, I'm going to hit 1 million.
Sorry to cut in. We've got Francis calling all the way from Kintampo. Oh, hello, Francis. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, many thanks, my brother.
Right. So please go ahead with your.
Yeah, I really cherish your program. To be frank, making resolution is very easy, but accomplishing it at the end of the year is the Herculean task. I want to ask the coach, how can you break away from that poor personal default mode so that you can go to overcome procrastination to achieve your New Year resolution?
Right, Francis, thank you very much for giving us a call.
Sir.
Yeah, Kintampo, I've been there. It's quite fun, but thank you very much for calling. So Francis says, how do you do that? Break that spirit.
First of all, thank you, Francis, for calling in. I think I was kind of touching on it.
Right.
Number one, you need to have a very strong why. If you don't have a strong enough why, procrastination, you're going to keep procrastinating. And the second thing is you need to have a sense of urgency. You know, often when I coach people say to me two things. They say, Rudolph, I'm young, one day I'm going to do it. And the problem with that statement is that there's two things wrong with it. The first statement is one day. Now, if you look through the 7 days that we have in a week, one day doesn't exist. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So when you say one day, subconsciously, you're telling yourself, unconsciously sometimes, you're telling yourself, well, this is never going to happen because one day I'm going to do it. Another thing that's wrong with that statement is they tell themselves, I'm young. I believe most people say, oh, I'll do this next year. Anyways, it's half of the year is gone already. I'm young. Anyway, the problem with that statement, I'm young, is that this very moment, this very day, this very second is the youngest that you'll ever be. You're not going to get any younger than this moment right now. And usually when people keep telling themselves this, one day I'm going to do this, they don't understand that the word later, I often say this, the word later is the most expensive word in any language, whether it's French, Spanish, Portuguese. That word later has caused so many businesses to collapse. It's caused so many people go to the graveyard with not achieving anything because they kept on saying, oh, later. And the way I define procrastination is very simple. Anything that you can do right now and you tell yourself later is the intentional of delaying of something. When you intentionally delay something, you know that you can go to the gym right now. You say, oh, I'm going to do it.
The intentionality of delaying that.
That's what procrastinate. We don't have to overcomplicate the word. Anytime you can do something right now, you tell yourself, well, I'm going to do it. Like, you already procrastinated. So when you understand that this is the youngest you'll ever be, you'll have a sense of urgency. None of us know how long we have. And secondly, when you have a very strong why, it doesn't matter. You know, you are going to go out for it. So we got another caller.
Right. Someone from Northridge. This is just close by. Someone, good afternoon. Thank you for calling. What's your contribution?
Okay. My contribution is I want to ask of how to set goals.
Someone, can you speak up so we can hear you clearly?
Oh, okay. So I was asking how to set goals and achieve them.
How do you set the goal and achieve it?
Yes, please.
Right, so thank you. This is just for a practical one. How do you set it and achieve it? Right, so as and when the questions come, I'm sure we'll have them in mind, and I'll try and remind you so that you can answer them, but you can keep the calls coming through. Right.
Would you like me to answer his question?
Let's wrap up with the first.
Okay. Yeah, so as I said, so if they have a sense of urgency, if they have a strong why, they start with that. That caller, was it Francis? Was it?
Yeah, Francis.
Francis, if you start with a sense of urgency, understanding that, you know, time is finite, you know, it's not infinite. And secondly, knowing that why are you doing it? Is it because of your child? Is it because you want to change your financial income? Some people are sitting on gold right now, and literally, if they decide to go after their dreams, they can change their not just their financial situation, but the whole family financial situation. That's a very strong why. So, yeah.
Okay. Francis says, how do you set it and achieve it? It's easier said than done, I guess.
Yes.
But it's got to find a way to set the right goal, because some of the goals definitely
are right. And you mentioned something that I want to say. The enemy of right is not necessary, or the enemy of good is not bad. You know, the enemy of right is good. So most people set good goals, but they don't set the right goals. Then the question is the question is then, how do we determine right goals? Well, it has to do with your destination.
Okay.
Your destination will determine what goals are right. Let me give you an example. If I'm traveling from here to, let's say, to Kumasi, there's different exits. All the exits are good exits. None of them are bad exits.
Right.
But depending on my destination will determine if I take the right exits to go to Kumasi. So what I'll tell Francis is very simple, is ask yourself, okay, where am I going? Once you find out, then you set goals to get you to that destination.
Okay. Oh, we lost Sami from Ablekuma. Sami, please do well to call back. Now, from that, so that was the answer to the second question that came in.
So think about your destination, because the destination will prepare the goals for you.
Right.
If you understand, I want to be a presenter. If I want to be a presenter like you, then I need to understand that, okay, what are the goals that's going to get me to presenter? Maybe I need to work on communication skills and so forth. And then you set those goals for yourself that will get you to that destination. Right. A lot of people just said, it's good goals.
Is it wrong not to set any resolution and just take life as it is? Each day, whatever that happens, you could.
Wherever be will be.
Yeah.
Would you ever get on a public transportation, on a plane, on a trotro, in a car, with no destination in mind? That's just a question for you and the audience at home. Would you ever do that?
Okay.
Okay. So, so I don't think we would do that. Nobody would go on a.
Let's speak to Ibrahim from Tamale.
Sure.
Ibrahim, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. What do you have to say this afternoon?
Yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Right, Ibrahim. So this is what we're going to do. Lower the volume of your set. Lower the volume of your set and speak to me on the phone.
About.
Okay. So please, when you call, make sure that you're talking to me on the phone, not listening to me on the television, right? Or if you're doing on radio too, it's 94.1 FM. You can listen to us. So if you're stepping now, don't worry, you can still catch us on 94.1 FM, DSTV channel 277. But if you do call us, lower the volume of your set and speak to me via the phone so we can just have a very smooth conversation. We have another call. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling from Tamale.
Ibrahim from Tamale. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. There is something that I've been battling with, and I've been trying to see how I can, like that in the.
Okay, Ibrahim, can you reposition yourself so we can hear you well?
Tolerating harsh words from my boss, especially in the workplace, when my boss uses like words that are not like stupid and all like those words. Sometimes I find it difficult to there are certain words that my boss always uses on me, which makes me I don't feel comfortable at the workplace. So usually it makes me move from one work to another work, because sometimes when you go to another work too, then the same thing occurs there. So how do I manage myself? If someone talks harsh to me.
Right. Thank you very much for calling. I got your question, but I was going to come to the image development later. But he's brought that in, that how does he overcome the bit of his bosses speaking harshly to him and insult and all of those things? He's not able to cope with that.
Let me wrap up.
So we'll wrap up with the earlier, right?
Yeah. Right. So what I was asking you, and I know you didn't answer the question because I know you know the answer. Well, I actually would you get in the public transportation with no destination? You wouldn't do that, sir, would you?
No.
Sir, absolutely not. I don't think none of us would do it. And as I often say, the best way. Do you understand that you can actually predict your future? The best way to predict the future is to create it yourself.
Okay.
Never put your life on autopilot. Wherever will be, will be. And this is why people get frustrated. At the end of the year, it's like, why did my life turn out like this? But you said wherever will be, will be. So this is your result. If wherever will be, you shouldn't complain. So you should really be very critical about where you want to go. So that's for that question there.
So do not put your life on autopilot.
Never do that. Don't do that. You're only going to get frustrated at the end of the year because, imagine you sit in a car and you end up somewhere you don't want to be. It's like, why did I? Yeah, but you didn't have no destination. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
the bit about the image or character, I should say. So he says that he finds it difficult to work or to function when his bosses use words, on him, and so he gets to move from one place to the other, and all of that. How does he overcome that?
Okay, first of all, I think what the individual will need to do is, first of all, I often like to say that the world will always see you the way you see yourself. A very important statement.
Okay.
How you see yourself will determine how people sometimes treat you. Now, I'm not saying that perhaps the reason it's justifiable what his boss is doing to him. You'll find that many people have a very low low self-esteem, very low confidence. And we live in a world that people take advantage of that. So sometimes even the body language, they see in the studio, you walk around, your shoulders like this, there's no confidence. They're like, oh, this is someone we can pick on. So what I would say to that individual is that, first of all, develop a very strong self-image. Let yourself, tell yourself that I'm competent for this role. When you have that really strong boldness, self-image, eventually that confidence, that aura, people feel that it's like energy. They feel like this guy is very confident. Now your manager will still continue to say these harsh things to you. This is where it's okay to speak with your manager and ask him, why does he use these terms towards you? Because you don't really appreciate it, because you're here to work, not here to be looked down upon. Now, in case the manager still continues, now, because you've built a very strong self-image, then you start looking, then if you see nothing's changed, then you start looking for a different job, because you realize that I'm above these insults. Like, why am I accepting this? Perhaps this is why most people stay in a very toxic relationship, because the way they see themselves as, well, this is all that, this is the only relationship that I can have. Even though they know the relationship is not working, but I'm going to stay in this relationship because, after all, there's nothing out there. This is the best I see myself with. So if you change the way you see yourself internally, that self-image that I always talk about as an identity strategy, if you can change that self-identity, you begin to see things begin to change for you. All of a sudden, you see people treat you a little bit different.
Right.
So
it's all about the mental fortitude.
Yeah.
You have to create that for yourself, right? So that, as you say, if you say I am and I am not, I'm going to prove to you that I am not.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm just going to be strong. And of course, as you say, if you're not confident, if you don't show up,
people will take
advantage of you, right? If you're always going to be like that.
I think we spoke about this last time. Said we don't know if it's in our culture, if it's that timidity where we grew up, where you're not allowed to say anything. If something's troubling you, just be quiet. After all, the adult is always right. This is our culture, and sometimes people don't grow out of it. So you find 50-year-olds still behaving like how they was when they're 12 years old, because that's how powerful the self-image is. Very powerful. So
So we just tuning in. We're speaking to Rudolph Brenya, also known as Mr. High Definition. He's taking us on a high this afternoon, and we have a caller. Hello, good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Nana Akomi. I'm calling from Community 18.
Nana Akomi from Community 18. Thank you for calling. What's your contribution?
I'm enjoying the program, and I just want to share a little bit of experience, not like a book knowledge or maybe coming from someone who have told you. You know, when it comes to being dedication or being serious in your to achieve
Nana,
something.
can you speak up so we can hear you clearly?
Okay. Okay. What I'm saying is, I just want to share a little bit.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, so I heard that part. Yeah.
Good. It's always based on your determination to make it. It's not about somebody exposure or reading from the source of a book knowledge that you can apply life. But always determined. It's come from your determination to, or the anxiety or the pressure that you give yourself that I want to reach this cardinal point in life. Whether it will take 10 years or 15 years or whatever it is, you need to keep dreaming. Okay? My first book that I encountered, someone told me to read, and then before, he will engage me by having a beautiful business conversation with Think and Grow Riches by Napoleon Hills. All right? I got that book around 2007. Getting the knowledge from that beautiful books or maybe beautiful book that I encountered does not change my life. It will not change anything. It will never change. It will give you the insight, or it open your business mindset, how you need to keep on dreaming. Whether it will take even 30 years, it will come.
Right.
That is why we have some, great men across board, all over the continent, that we can count on them. They had their breakthrough maybe 60 years or 40 years or 10 years. It does not mean as a young that you are, when you hit here and it doesn't happen, you need to bounce back. It doesn't happen like that. Right. You need to know what you want in life.
Right.
And let that fire burn in you, whatever it takes, whether 10 years to come, 15 years to come, keep dreaming. And the most importantly, to have God in your sight.
Right.
That's what I want to say.
Thank you very much for
You're
encouraging
welcome,
us
brother.
also this afternoon. One of the bans of young people in achieving their goals is comparison or living the life or trying to live the life of others. I'm one of those people that I am my life and whatever I want to do, it is about me and what I want to achieve. The next person or the next brother may have achieved that, but you may not be able to toe that same line. But many of the young people, especially in the generation Gen Z and all of that, you see, this person has this. I've got to put that on my radar. I've got to do it. I have to do the same thing. But you do not know how the person got there. How do we make sure that we aren't trying to live other people's lives and focus on ours?
That's a very brilliant question. One of the things I always say that this life that you live in is take it as your biopic, it's your own movie.
Right.
If that means it's your biopic, that means you're the main, you're the main character of this movie. A main character does not imitate the extras in the movies.
Right.
They don't imitate those people. What people don't need, what the young people don't understand is that everybody has their own, they have their own purpose in life. And like you rightfully said, some people will achieve something, and then the young people tell themselves, well, that means I also have to achieve that. But one thing they don't understand is that they use social media, for example, to compare each other, but they don't understand that maybe you're at level 10 right now. Right. I've just come into the journalism journey. I can't use my level 1 to determine, I can't use my level 1 to compare to your level 10 and determine if I'm qualified enough. That's not how you do it. You have to focus on your own movie. You have to focus on your own journey. If you look at taking it biblical, when Peter stepped out in the water, he focused on Yeshua, and the moment he took his eyes off Yeshua, he sank. And that's what most people. The moment you take your eyes off the goal, you begin to sink. Well, because when you're watching everyone around you. There's a famous picture, I don't know if you've seen, Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
Yeah, the
I don't know if you've seen it. There's a famous picture where he was just focusing and the person in second place was watching him. And the meme said, you can Google it, the meme said that winners focus on winning and losers focus on the winners. That picture is very powerful. So the moment I saw that picture, I said, I'm no longer will I ever compare myself to other people.
Right.
Because Michael Phelps was like this. This is a man that's won all the gold medals. This person in second place, instead of focusing on he could have probably won if he focused, but he's watching Michael Phelps, see how far he's gone and so forth.
Yeah.
So the comparison is something very dangerous. Just know that this is your movie, this is your biopic. Have the main character energy, as I often say. Don't become an extra in your movie.
Right. This is your movie. You're writing your story. Yeah. Stonebwoy said in the song. you don't know someone's story, so just stick to yours and try and make sure that you get it. You're watching Good Afternoon Ghana, your holiday edition, and I'm loving this as we get to talk about New Year resolutions and all of that. Now, as we wait for the calls to come in, now 2025 character development as we get into 2026. Someone wants to change. Someone wants to be more, less angrier. Someone wants to be open to ideas from people. Someone wants to be more friendly now. All of those things. How does that person opens up himself or herself to be able to build that character, a positive one for 2026?
Good. So when you talk about anger, we talk about emotions and everything like that. And so everything starts again with self-awareness. You need to understand that if you've had this character for 20 years, let's say you've had it for 20 years, having this notion of this is going to change in 20 days, it's not going to work. I'll be honest with you. What I'm saying is...
will be a long-term goal?
Yeah, it's a long-term goal. What I'm saying is that you need to be patient.
Right.
There's times that you're going to slip up. Like you're going to go back to being angry again. Or let's say you've not been to the gym for 20 years and now January 1st, you're excited, I'm going to the gym. You need to understand that eventually you start off small. Because what people do that, I'll go to the gym for 6 days.
Right.
But rather than saying to myself, I'm going to go gym once, and then eventually build proof to show that I'm going. By the third week, you can take it to 2, 3, and 4 to eventually go to 6 times a day. Same thing with the emotions. If you find yourself angry, understand that, hold on, this is something that's been inside me for a very long time. I'm working on myself. This is inner work. Eventually, now you begin, because sometimes people have certain characters, they're not even aware of it. But now you've been intelligent enough to know, you've been intelligent enough to know that you have this character flaw.
Right.
Now you're working on it. So please be patient with yourself. I'm just there trying to encourage someone that you've decided, like, I want to develop something. It's going to take time because you're doing some inner work.
Right. So 0245-834980, 0245-834980 is the number to call. We've got about 10 minutes to wrap up on the conversation. So give us a call, Coach Zia. And many a times we say, oh, motivational speakers or counselors like you just say what you
say. What you.
Sometimes it's also important to speak to people to get a perspective, from them that could help all of us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've only become, but first of all, I always tell people I'm not a motivation speaker, because motivation speaker just get you pumped up, and then after, a coach gets you from point A to point B. You see, your favorite football team doesn't hire the coach just to motivate them. It's like, oh, guys, you can do it. No, it's not about that. He's been given an assignment. He said, hey, maybe you need to get promotion. Maybe you need to make the top 4. Maybe avoid us from being relegated. Right. There's something they need to do, and that's what coach does. It gets you from point A to point B. And you're right to say that sometimes people come on here, motivation speakers, just like theory. And this is why I said it's very practical for you to do practical steps with your clients. You see, what most people don't understand is that the average person would say, for example, like, I don't need a personal development coach. Why do I need a coach? Yeah. Well, when you've got a dental problem, you go and see a dentist. When you've got a health issue, you go and see a doctor. When you've got a fitness problem, you go and see a fitness coach. Okay, when you have a identity crisis, you come and see an identity strategist. When you got if you can't reach your goals, you go see a personal development coach. There's nothing wrong with it. But you see, the problem is most people they're not comfortable asking for help. You know? They think asking for help means that they're not good, they're less, and it's an ego thing. So I would tell that individual, don't be afraid to invest in yourself, invest in coaches, things that's going to improve you to the next level. Let's improve our skill set. Let's improve because when you become a better person, everything changes for you. Back to what I was saying earlier, a young man in here in Ghana said to me, Rudolph, he said, I understand you say I need to change my self-identity before I get the results, but how does this affect me if I'm trying to, I want to travel, I want my visa to USA. How does me changing the way I see myself get me a visa? And that's a very intelligent question, actually. It's a very intelligent question. I said, yes, your self-image won't control the fact that if they're going to give you the visa or not. But however, instead of asking yourself a question like, if before you ask America to accept you, you need to ask yourself, what kind of person do I need to become that will bring value to the nation of America? When you start thinking like that, you don't wait for the visa, you start improving yourself. So, for example, in America, they speak English. You take English lessons, for example, if you want to improve your English. You work on skill set that might be you can use in America. And in case you don't even get the visa, guess what? You've improved in different areas. That makes you very that can make you be employed, and it can make you work like probably hybrid or make you work remotely from here. You can be in Ghana and work in the USA.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna see if we can do a few more calls, and then we wrap it up as we talk about New Year resolution. When do you have to be reviewing your resolutions?
As often as possible. As often as possible. The biggest temptation that we have in the generation, I think every generation has its temptation. Our temptation is distraction. That's our biggest temptation. It's so easy for someone to take you off course. This is why people get excited January the 1st, and then eventually what will happen is that they'll talk to someone and they'll be like, oh, Rudolph, forget that, man. That's not even, and then they take you off course. But the more you keep reviewing it, this is why people do affirmations and they have vision boards and stuff, because you want to see it in front of you all the time. You want to see like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And always ask yourself, the things I'm doing now, is that bringing me closer to this goal, or is it taking me further away? If the answer is it's taking you further away, then you just recalibrate and go back to the position. So yes, as often as possible. There's not a magic number or anything like that, but as often as possible.
Right. And the last thing that helps to succeed that I want to talk about is value. It's one of the things that really, when two people stand, one will be looked at regarding the value that could be added to whatever company work or even relationship. But a woman will look at two guys, or a guy will look at two ladies and pick one that will add value or whatever. To how do we do that as we try to build our identity for this year? That wherever we get to, we know that I belong here. I bring something to the table. I bring value to this place. Hence, I'm not easily dispensable.
Good. So it goes, first of all, you have to have this mentality that you're always improving. The biggest threat to your past success, the biggest threat to your progression is your last success.
Right.
What does that mean? That means that most people have this notion of I've arrived. And when you have that mentality that I've arrived, you tell yourself that you will never develop yourself. So what I'll tell that individual is that you have to get in that mindset that wherever you've achieved, I don't care if it's $1 million, $2 million, you always have to tell yourself that there's another level for me to go to keep improving yourself. The more you keep improving yourself, the more value you bring. And everybody likes someone valuable. In any organization, if we are going to promote someone, we're promoting someone who's adding the right value. And how does that value come from? For working on your skill set. The more skill set that you have, the more you keep working on yourself, eventually people begin to see you like this person is very valuable. So when the promotion comes on, we're promoting you first.
Right.
When you're in a decision, like you said, you want to pick one woman, you pick the woman that you feel like this woman brings a lot of value into my life.
Right.
I think if I work with her together, we can build something. And that only comes from doing working on yourself first. So I'll tell that individual, continue to develop yourself, continue to work on yourself, continue to extract from your potential and never get satisfied. Always be grateful, but never be satisfied. Always be grateful, but never be satisfied. Very important.
Right. Rudolph, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me again.
Any other thing coming up from your quarters for 2026?
Yes, we're going to be doing a lot of work here in Ghana coming up. Yes, we're going to be running masterclass for young professionals that really want to improve their performance at work. We're going to be doing a lot of corporate workshops as well across Ghana to develop. The aim is we want to change the mindset here in Ghana so that we produce better citizens. If we produce better citizens, we have a better country that we all love. So look out for that. And everyone can find me online, Mr. High Definition or Rudolph Brenya. We do live streams on TikTok every single day as well at 12 p.m. So you can join that as well.
Right, Rudolph, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
Mr. High Definition.
That's right.
He's a personal development coach and author, and also the founder of that is the Africa. Let me get the full name. Africa's Future Empowerment Community. Many thanks for watching, and for those who called, thank you so much from Kintampo to Tamale to Ablekuma everywhere. Thank you very much for tuning to the show. My name is Desmond Okreku Dan. So we've got loads coming up at 3 p.m. is entertainment review. Our comedians will be here. Will be on Ponsa Lexi. So do well to be part of the program. So enjoy the rest of our programs. We're out. Bye-bye.
They say art is a symbol because man is a symbol. Symbols are a depiction of life. They communicate the intangibles and leaves the mind awakened by the wonders of life. Our folkloric symbol show talks about our symbols in connection to our history, religion, and society's norms and traditions, from the north down to the south and in between.
The animal is called Le. But because they are found on the hill out there, the name of the hill became Lebon, which means when you go there, you get more of the Le to hunt or you take them as game.
Join us on our folkloric symbol show on Metro TV.
On the PL Show, we kick off the new year with an exciting conversation with Samara Company Limited as they reflect on the highlights of the year.
The creme de la creme, the Magnet Awards at the EMY 2025, and Prof won the Magnet Awards as an achievement. Now, because Prof won homoding.
We're celebrating Samara's remarkable achievements, including major awards won in 2025, and diving into the innovative products that sets the brand apart.
Technology, and you have local starch. Now they're
why you be pay you?
And I won't answer what to need now at time. Until when you na Samara a dream. And no difficult starch so a bar.
The PL Show is brought to you by Kel Charcoal, Kel 360, and Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Kel, happy smile.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a key link in the global supply chain. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to ensuring the enhancement, resilience and sustainability of port infrastructure and maritime trade. Get to know which vessel is bringing your goods, how much duty you are required to pay, and how quickly you can clear your goods from the ports of Ghana. We ask the relevant questions and elicit responses from the appropriate authorities. We interact with you via our social media platforms and put your queries across to the expert. Iron Port shows this and every Sunday live on Metro TV at 5:30 p.m. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by and powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Iron Port, transparency in doing business and building nation.
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
The journey continues, but becoming that phenomenal lady doesn't happen in a day.
It takes courage and refusing to settle for less.
This season, on the PL Show, it gets much more diverse,
engaging and impactful. This is the PL Show.
We paint the perfect picture of pain, sleepless nights, hard work, and of course, the ultimate breathtaking view from the mountaintop. Success.
Successful ladies from all walks of life doing amazing things and positively effective change in their respective fields.
And as you know, we share all these with you, our ardent follower, to help you navigate that journey and also come out strong and phenomenal.
This is the PL Show.
It's brought to you by Kel Charcoal, Kel 360, and Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Femi sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Tom Preko.
We are friends and we will continue as good friends. Makanaka daily,
And now, what do we do about the son of
of his son. I learned that the son of Eze Obodagi was here. He's interested. And I'm sure that his father would have sent him. I wonder why the gods will send such a blessing to a maiden who doesn't even deserve it. And now that it has become a competition to draw our attention, we stand the risk of losing that son to another kingdom. You are correct. Even my son said something like that. Then we have to destroy him. If we cannot have him, then no one should. We have to destroy him. We have to bring everything to normal, the way it used to be before the child arrived. You're right. Absolutely right. Because the whole thing here is becoming almost impossible. Everything seems so difficult. And the mother is making it seem so. Then it's obvious we cannot do anything to her. No. There's a dimba. I am Abuakre. Akre Abuonye Bulea. We will draw a map. Yes. I will draw a map. We'll set out a perfect map. This kingdom belongs to both of us. Yes. And we are totally in control of Obodenu kingdom. Even Ezemo cannot say otherwise. If after I set this map, Obu no Maro, then you know that no problem about work. You are perfectly right.
Father, I'm done trying. I have better option than her. Our kingdom has been doing great without the son of the son. I loved her naturally even before knowing the nature of the child she's carrying. She's making the whole thing look like my life depends on it.
Well, you have tried, my son. It is time to move forward. I support your decision.
Thank you.
I wish you well in your search for a bride, a woman that is worth it, a woman that will rule this kingdom with you when I'm gone.
Thank you for respecting my decision.
She's very, very difficult. She's a very difficult person. She's too stubborn for my liking. I've never seen a girl like that before.
I clearly understand your frustration. I know exactly how you feel. Listen, nothing will stop you from being the king of Obodenu. Just withdraw anything that has to do with Umachi and her son. Then I will tell you what next to do. I am working out a plan with the king. Yes.
The king? Have you sorted your differences?
Yes, we resolved our differences like the wise men we are.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Please, don't harm me. Please don't harm my child. Please. Please don't harm me. Please, I beg you.